Math Practice 8. Look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. The goal of this practice is to help students notice repetition in numbers, measurement, probability, and a lot of other content areas in math. Students need to figure out why algorithms or formulas make sense, and they need to develop an understanding of shortcuts or generalizations. Classroom-tested techniques for this practice include organizing and displaying data to discover rules, orchestrating classroom investigations to discover shortcuts, and using familiar problems as a way to decide on an appropriate strategy. We often use tables as a way to organize data so it's easier to see patterns and functions. Whether we look horizontally or vertically at the table, we see the connections between the data and are able to make generalizations about those connections. With each new car, we add four more wheels, or the number of wheels, if you look at the number of wheels, is 4 times the number of cars. It's important for us to pose problems that challenge students to extend patterns and look for a generalization to explain the pattern. We need to show 3 or 4 steps of a pattern. We need to give students hands-on materials to explore and extend the pattern. We need to have them tell you what comes next and why. We need to have them record the data on a table, and with older students, have them graph the data and discuss what they observe. Another classroom-tested technique is orchestrate investigations. Critical components of this process is providing opportunities for all students to gather data with partners or teams, creating compilations of class data, and having students observe compiled data and discuss their insights. Here's a sample investigation that I want us to try. Dr. Martin wants to order a sandwich and a drink. I've provided problem A, problem B, and problem C. You'll be assigned a specific problem to solve, and with that problem, you need to decide how many different choices he has and list them. Here's a set of problems that a 3rd grade teacher provided to her class and asked them to solve in order to find out what happens when 1 is added to an addend. What do you notice? What's happening here? Those are the questions she asked. She later had them also look at comparisons of what happens when you add 1 to or increase a factor in a multiplication problem. So with the same 3rd grade students, the teacher asked the class to explore multiplication. So thinking about what happens when you increase one of the factors by 1. She asked the students to finish the statement, "I think this will happen to the product, blank." So with Math Practice 8, teachers should ask, what do you notice? Do you see any patterns? Have we seen this before? Students need opportunities to select problem-solving strategies and to justify their solutions. Here's a Wordle that I created using terms that are relevant to Math Practice 8. As you look at these terms and as you reflect upon the videos you have watched for Math Practice 8, how do these components compare to the math practice that you completed a flipped class for? Where do you see comparisons?